You're watching KPVM News 46. Weekend Review. With Deanna O'Donnell. And Jason Koblenz.
Welcome to News 46's Weekend Review, your #1 source for local news. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Jason Koblenz. Tuesday morning, Paula Glidden from Paved put out a press release stating that the annual Pahrump Fair and Festival has been canceled.
The press release states that Paved has been putting on the festival for the past 2 years. Because of local governmental regulations and economic factors, Paved is unable to continue hosting the Pahrump Fair and Festival. Historically, the festival was sponsored by the town without the imposition of the current state and local regulations, licenses, and fees. Glidden states in the release that security costs have been placed on the festival at the 11th hour. The first year, no security fees were imposed on the fair. The second year, additional fees for security and rodeo gate were imposed. This year, security costs for the park and the parade have escalated beyond their means. New fees for the Bob Roode Community Center and for Paved's Arts and Crafts Festival were another cost. The new county regulations does not have clear fees schedules for security requirements, says Glidden. Over the past 2 years, they have had the town and county add additional fees, regulations, and costs that were not part of the picture when Paved took it over. They still do not have the final fees for security for the park and the parade. That's what the press release says. The economy has fallen and they are left to balance the checkbook. The regulations imposed by the town and state have confounded our vendors due to the sheer volume of paperwork they have to have filled out. Pave adds that they hoped for the town, county, and local business leaders to step up and assist them in their volunteer effort, but this is not occurring. The cost to put on the festival last year was over $100,000. This year, the cost with additional fees, increasing costs for security, sanitation, and other items, the projected cost will be about $125,000 with no increase projected in revenues to cover the cost. To see Pave's full press release, you can go to KPVM's Facebook page. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. Town Manager Bill Kobarger held a press conference last week regarding the fate of the annual Fair and Festival.
I've heard from every town board member who wants us to take a serious look at what we can do to get this resolved. They have asked me to call the chamber. I've had several businesses in town contact me about taking over the Fall Festival, putting it on their property and running it, or what can we do to make sure that is at least some type of event goes on this year. They've mentioned several things in here that they've contacted several local businesses and asked for support. Now, I've talked to 4 major businesses here in Pahrump yet today. I had lunch with one. I've been on the phone with others. No one has advised that they've gotten any contact from Paved to try and help to run this through the last 10 months. And last year in November, pretty sure it was November, Paved sat in front of the town board and all the citizens and said they made $12,000 on this. If you look at it, last year's was $100,000 and they made $12,000 off of that. This year's cost is $125,000, so they're only $12,000 in the hole. If you read this whole thing, it sounds like they're $125,000 in the hole. It doesn't make financial sense to what they put in their press release. Now, what is the town going to do about this? We would do whatever the 5 around the table want us to do because that's what staff does. Every town board member has contacted me today. Mr. Darby, Dr. Waters, Mrs. Parker, and Mr. Calkin, all wanting to know what it is we can do. And I've advised them, you have 6 weeks before this event is supposed to be on. You have only 30 vendors from what I've been told. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they have 50. That's still not enough vendors to put on the type of show that everybody is used to. Now, if we were to take over this event, it would be a scaled down, hugely scaled down event. All morning long I've been getting phone calls. The phones are ringing off the hook here, but all morning long phone calls. But again, Without direction from the town board, I can't go expend revenue and expenditures to get this project taken over, because then I'll be in front of the county, or I'll be in front of the county commission, I hope not. I'll be in front of the town board explaining to them why I went and spent money and started to do a project without their permission. So I have to wait for direction from the town board, which I'm sure will come tonight, even though it's too late to get on the town board agenda. Like I said, one of the town board members had contacted me about putting together a special town board meeting. It's going to have to get the okay from the other three tonight. The 2 phone calls I had with Paved last night at 5 o'clock and again this morning ended abruptly. It wasn't ended abruptly on my part. I still was on the phone going, hello, hello. I wish I had really something positive to tell you. I wish I could say, yes, we're going to make this thing happen and we're going to run with it and it's going to be extreme success, and in the next 6 weeks we're going to another 100 vendors and we're going to get the rodeo people in here, we're going to have the carnival. But then if I was saying that in 6 weeks when it didn't happen, you'd want my hide. Now, you always want my hide, but you know, you'd have more reason to have my hide, because then I wouldn't actually have done something. You know, I don't know what more to say, but I wanted you to know that the town is involved. We have talked to the county. We have talked, I personally have talked to 4 major businesses in this community who are willing to help and step up. It's just a matter of getting them all to the table in a short period of time, contacting vendors, going through that vendor list from last year, the year before that, and the year before that, saying, how come you didn't follow through? How come you didn't call? I mean, if they've only got 30 vendors, there's something out there wrong. And we're going to have to fix that, and we'll have to fix it quickly. We'll be able to get 130, 140, 160, 200 vendors. I seriously doubt it this late in the game. But again, like you said, it's an entertainment thing. Can we still put the rodeo on? Can we still have the carnival in town? Can we still get somebody selling candy apples? I'd be happy with that. Hopefully we will move towards that and get that accomplished. Yeah.
Paved was a no-show for the scheduled meeting with the town officials to turn over their contracts and paperwork after canceling their involvement with the Pahrump Fair and Festival.
I just got this email from Mr. Kobarger, and it is directed to the town board. Town board, yesterday I sent you an email advising you that staff had a meeting set with Paved for this morning at 8:30 a.m. Well, here is the update from that meeting as promised. Paved did not show up. Mrs. Glidden called me and advised the following: I could not rally the troops to be at your meeting, therefore we are not coming. We will attempt to gather up the paperwork and send it to you by Monday. End of conversation. And then Mr. Kobarger writes on, sorry, I do not think there'll be a fall festival this year. It's time to start planning for next year. Any thoughts?
All right, and then so we've kind of said that you know, people are willing to go get the paperwork from the Paved people so that it can be delivered to you and to the staff of the town of Pahrump. What's going on with that?
I don't know what's going on, because until we get the paperwork, we can't see whether this is financially viable or not. We've heard rumors that Paved only had 30 vendors. I cannot verify that. I'd like to see the town have some sort of fall festival, even if it's limited to the carnival and some vendors. But you know, our budget right now is very limited. This is not budgeted, and I can't make any promises. I'm going to try to see if we can at least salvage the carnival.
Yeah. And town board member Harley Calkin spoke to News 46 regarding the emergency town board meeting scheduled for next Wednesday.
Up to this moment, what's probably going to happen is the carnival will be coming. I spoke with him this morning, and Mr. Kobarger will be working with him as well. And so that'll happen. We're trying to see what we can do about the advance ticket sales, because they should have been going on already. But the carnival should be going here. And, of course, we'll be working on the parade. So little by little, we're putting things together, trying to salvage something out of this. But something will happen. I called for a special town board meeting so we can look over everything and also make some more decisions, because as an individual, no town board member can make a decision, but collectively, of course, we can make some decisions. So something's going to be happening, and we're just not sure all of what yet. But again, the carnival will be here, and I suspect this parade also will go on as usual, and a few other things.
So a special town board meeting Wednesday night?
I'm not sure if it'll be night, but I'd imagine it'll be at least late afternoon.
Yeah.
By the open meeting law of the state of Nevada, we have to give 3, I believe it's working days notice, so it'll probably be Wednesday when we'll have our meeting. And there's some vacation schedule and stuff, so we're going to try to work all around that, some staff vacations and things next week.
So Paula Glidden canceled the meeting this morning, so we just get everybody up to date, and that she said she's going to get the paperwork together. The paperwork is actually getting together at this point, but whether or not the paperwork's here, we're at least going forward, and hopefully the paperwork will come as the day progresses.
Right. They give us some, fill in some information as to, who the vendors were that already signed up and what's going on. But one way or another, there'll be some sort of event. At least that's what I'm working for. At least I can only speak for myself. But I couldn't imagine why not the carnival would happen. Yeah. And because it's already scheduled, and I talked to them this morning. So
you talked to Davis Amusements?
Yes.
Okay, so everything's set with that. And then as far as the vendors, are we going to be offering special rates for booths to get some more vendors in there?
All of that will have to be discussed at the special town board meeting.
We'll be right back with more of News 46's Week in Review right after these messages.